First Contact and Ultimatum. Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the reinforced viewport of Luna Command, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display showing Earth's orbital defense grid. The massive blue marble of humanity's homeworld hung behind the tactical overlay, a stark reminder of what they were fighting to protect. Multiple contacts detected entering the Kuiper Belt. Admiral Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, his fingers dancing across the haptic interface. They're massive. Nothing like we've ever seen before. The command center fell silent as the first images from the deep space arrays appeared on the main screen. Sleek crystalline vessels, each nearly the size of Manhattan, cut through space with impossible grace. Their hulls seemed to shimmer with an inner light, casting prismatic reflections across the void. How many? Chen's voice remained steady, decades of military discipline keeping her fear in check. 37 capital ships. Admiral. Over 200 support vessels. Rodriguez swallowed hard. They're not responding to any of our standard greeting protocols. Chen activated the command center's general broadcast. All stations, this is not a drill. Battle stations. I repeat, battle stations. The alien fleet's approach was methodical, precise. They passed Neptune's orbit in perfect formation, ignoring the automated warning beacons humanity had placed throughout the solar system. When they reached Jupiter, the first transmission came. The main screen flickered, and a figure appeared. Humanoid, but clearly alien. Its skin was like polished obsidian, with geometric patterns that pulsed with internal light. When it spoke, its words were translated by the AI language matrix. People of Earth, I am High Commander Vexthor of the Valtharian Empire. Your species has been observed since you first split the atom. Your rapid technological advancement and aggressive expansion cannot be permitted to continue unchecked. You will surrender your worlds and submit to Valtharian guidance, or face immediate extinction. You have 48 of your hours to comply. The transmission ended abruptly. Chen's command staff looked to her, waiting for direction. She keyed her secure comm link to Earth's Security Council. Madam President, you received the transmission. We did, Admiral. President Santos' voice was grim. Initial analysis. Chen studied the tactical display. Their technology is centuries ahead of our conventional forces. Standard kinetic weapons and energy arrays would be useless against ships of that size and capability. Then we have no choice but to surrender. The question hung heavy in the air. Chen allowed herself a small smile. No, Madam President, we have exactly the choice they don't expect us to have. She entered a series of commands into her secured terminal. Initiating Protocol Lazarus. Authorization. Chen Alpha 770. Admiral. Santos' voice sharpened. Are you certain? Once we reveal the Phoenix. They're expecting primitives with delusions of grandeur, Chen replied. It's time to show them how dangerous those primitives can be. Requesting authorization to activate the Phoenix Protocol. There was a moment of silence on the line. Then, authorization granted. May God help us all. Chen turned to her staff. Lieutenant Rodriguez, send word to all colonies and outposts. Tell them to maintain normal defensive positions. Captain Walsh, begin evacuation of non-essential personnel from orbital facilities. Commander Park, activate the quantum communication array. The command center erupted into controlled chaos as orders were relayed and preparations began. Chen returned her gaze to the tactical display, watching the Valtharian fleet's inexorable advance. Signal sent to Titan Base, Rodriguez reported. They acknowledge receipt and are beginning activation sequence. Deep beneath the icy surface of Saturn's largest moon, in a facility whose existence was known to less than 50 humans, something stirred. Emergency lighting bathed massive chambers in crimson as fusion reactors spun up to full power. The ground trembled as ancient machinery, reverse-engineered from technology humanity wasn't supposed to have, hummed to life. In her command center, Chen watched a new icon appear on her private display. A single ship identifier, pulsing with promise. U.S. Phoenix. Now we'll see who's truly primitive, she whispered as the alien fleet continued its advance, completely unaware that humanity's greatest secret was about to change everything they thought they knew about this simple species they'd come to subjugate. The next 48 hours would determine the fate of humanity. But unlike the Valtharians, Admiral Chen knew something they didn't. Humanity had spent the last 20 years preparing for exactly this moment. And preparation, as the aliens were about to learn, was something humans excelled at. Project Phoenix. Captain Maya Patel had lived beneath Titan's frozen surface for 3 years, but the sight before her still took her breath away. Through the reinforced observation deck of Deep Station Omega, she watched as the massive construction bay came alive with activity. The U.S. Phoenix dominated the cavernous space, its hull gleaming under the harsh industrial lighting. Beautiful, isn't she? Dr. Marcus Wong appeared beside her, his weathered face reflecting off the transparent aluminum viewport. As the Phoenix's chief engineer, he'd spent the last decade bringing this impossible dream to life. Hard to believe we kept something this big secret, Patel replied, watching maintenance drones swarm around the vessel's quantum drive housing. At just over 3 kilometers long, the Phoenix dwarfed anything humanity had ever built in space. Their conversation was interrupted by the station's alert system. All personnel, report to combat stations. This is not a drill. Repeat, all personnel report to combat stations. Patel's comm unit chirped, Captain to the bridge. Priority Alpha. The Phoenix's bridge was a marvel of human engineering, holographic displays seamlessly integrated with physical controls. As Patel took her command chair, her crew worked with practiced precision to bring the massive vessel online. Status report, she ordered, watching as system after system came online. Quantum core stable at 87% and rising. Lieutenant Sarah Hayes reported from engineering. Adaptive armor matrix online. All weapon systems reading green. What about the AI? Patel asked, turning to the holographic interface beside her chair. A figure materialized, a young woman in a naval uniform, her form slightly translucent. This was AI, Advanced Recursive Intelligence Array, the most sophisticated artificial intelligence ever created by human hands. All systems are functioning within optimal parameters, Captain, Araya reported. I've completed integration with the Phoenix's neural network. We are combat ready. Dr. Wong's voice came over the comm. Captain, you need to see this. He forwarded sensor data to the main display. The Valtharian fleet had begun systematic attacks on Earth's outer colonies. Patel's jaw tightened. Time to launch. 20 minutes to clear the ice sheet, Wong replied. We'll only get one shot at this, if they detect us powering up. They won't, Araya interjected. I've analyzed their sensor capabilities. The quantum core's signature is completely masked by Titan's electromagnetic field. They're not looking for anything this advanced from primitive humans. Patel smiled grimly. That's their first mistake. She opened a ship-wide channel. All hands, this is the captain. In 20 minutes, we make history. Everything we've trained for, everything we've prepared for, comes down to this moment. The enemy expects to find a primitive species ready for conquest. Instead, they're going to learn why humanity has survived every challenge it's ever faced. The deck thrummed beneath them as the Phoenix's systems reached full power. The quantum core's distinctive hum resonated through the hull, a sound unlike anything produced by conventional engines. This was technology the Valtharians couldn't imagine humans possessing, because they'd never imagined humans could improve upon the alien tech they'd reverse-engineered. Quantum core at 100%, Hayes announced. Adaptive armor at full capacity. Weapon systems primed. ARIA, begin launch sequence, Patel ordered. Above them, kilometers of Titan's ice began to shift. The Phoenix's construction bay had been built inside a massive cavern, with a series of hydraulic doors designed to open a path to the surface. As the ice parted, crystals of frozen methane drifted down like snow. Launch path clear, AirEye reported. All systems go. Patil took a deep breath. Take us up. The Phoenix rose with impossible grace for something its size. The quantum drive allowed it to manipulate gravity itself, making the massive warship as maneuverable as a fighter. As they breached Titan's surface, the ship's adaptive armor adjusted to match the moon's albedo, rendering them virtually invisible to conventional sensors. Message from Admiral Chen. Communications Officer Raj Kumar announced. Operation Lazarus is go. We are authorized to engage the enemy fleet. Patel studied the tactical display. The Valtharian fleet had spread out across the solar system, methodically destroying human outposts. They were confident, complacent in their technological superiority. They had no idea that humanity's greatest weapon was now rising from Titan's icy surface, preparing to show them exactly how dangerous primitive humans could be. Plot an intercept course with their main fleet, Patil ordered. Let's introduce ourselves properly. As the Phoenix accelerated away from Titan, its quantum drive leaving no visible exhaust trail, Patil thought about the journey that had brought them here. 20 years of secret development, countless breakthroughs and setbacks, all leading to this moment. The Valtharians thought they were dealing with a simple species that would bow before superior technology. They were about to learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't its technology. It was the ingenuity, determination, and sheer stubborn will that had created the Phoenix in the first place. The next few hours would change the course of human history, one way or another, and Captain Maya Patil intended to make sure it changed in humanity's favor. The battle for Sol. The Valtharian command ship, Eternal Dominion, hung in high Earth orbit, its crystalline hull refracting sunlight across the debris field that had once been humanity's orbital defense network. High Commander Vexthor watched the tactical display with satisfaction as his fleet methodically destroyed another human outpost near Mars. Primitives, his executive officer Zerak sneered. They don't even have basic gravity manipulation technology. Their weapons are practically ballistic. 30 minutes until their surrender deadline, Vexthor noted. Though I doubt they'll need that long to realize their situation is hopeless. A junior sensor operator suddenly straightened at his station. Commander, unusual energy reading detected near Saturn's orbit. Specify, Vexthor ordered, mandibles clicking with irritation. I've never seen anything like this, sir. The energy signature is masked somehow, but it's massive. And it's moving toward us at impossible speeds. Before Vexthor could respond, every screen on the bridge flickered. A human female appeared on the main display, wearing what appeared to be a military uniform. This is Captain Maya Patil of the U.S. Phoenix to Valtharian Command. Your assessment of humanity's capabilities has been incomplete. We're about to correct that oversight. The transmission cut off just as the Phoenix dropped out of quantum space, less than 10,000 kilometers from the Valtharian fleet. The massive human warship seemed to materialize from nothing, its adaptive hull absorbing and redirecting scanner beams. Impossible, Zerak whispered. Their technology level, they couldn't have. All ships, open fire. Vexthor roared. Destroy that vessel. Hundreds of energy beams lashed out from the Valtharian fleet, enough firepower to vaporize a small moon. But as the beams struck the Phoenix, something unprecedented happened. The ship's adaptive armor didn't just resist the attack. It absorbed the energy, its hull briefly glowing with stored power. Aboard the Phoenix, Captain Patel allowed herself a small smile. Area status report. Adaptive armor functioning at 118% capacity, the AI reported. Enemy weapon signatures analyzed and countermeasures deployed. Their energy weapons are actually charging our secondary capacitors. Time to show them what we've learned from studying their technology. Target their lead destroyer squadron. Fire at will. The Phoenix's main weapon array came online. Unlike the crude kinetic weapons the Valtharians had expected, these were quantum-enhanced energy projectors that could bypass conventional shields by briefly shifting their attacks through multiple dimensions. 3 Valtharian destroyers simply ceased to exist as the beams struck home. No explosions, no debris. They were simply gone, their matter scattered across quantum space. Impossible. Vexthor slammed his fist on his command console. How do they have this technology? The quantum principles alone. Sir, his tactical officer interrupted. The human ship, its launching fighters. From the Phoenix's launch bays emerged squadrons of aerospace craft, unlike anything the Valtharians had encountered. Each fighter was equipped with its own miniaturized quantum drive, making them nearly impossible to track or target. All ships, defensive formation. Vexthor ordered, but it was too late. The human fighters were inside his fleet's formation, their quantum-tipped weapons wreaking havoc on his carefully arranged battle line. Aboard the Phoenix, Lieutenant Hayes reported from engineering. Quantum core holding steady at 95%. Adaptive armor has fully integrated their weapon frequencies. We can maintain this indefinitely, Captain. Patel nodded, watching as another group of Valtharian ships succumbed to the Phoenix's superior firepower. Araya, broadcast on all frequencies. Let's give them one chance to reconsider their position. The AI's voice echoed across space. Valtharian fleet, you have grossly underestimated humanity's capabilities and resolve. Your ships are outmatched. Your weapons are ineffective. Withdraw now, or face the consequences of your miscalculation. On his flagship, Vexthor watched in horror as his mighty fleet was systematically dismantled by a single human vessel. His entire tactical doctrine was based on technological superiority. But these humans hadn't just matched Valtharian technology. They'd improved upon it in ways his scientists had never imagined. Sir, Zyrak's voice was heavy with defeat. We've lost a third of the fleet. The human vessel shows no sign of damage despite everything we've thrown at it. Perhaps we should. No. Vexthor roared. I will not be humiliated by primitives. All ships concentrate fire on their engine section. They can't possibly. His words were cut off as the Phoenix executed what should have been an impossible maneuver, its quantum drive allowing it to essentially teleport behind the Valtharian command ship. Final warning. Captain Patel's voice came through once more. The next shot won't miss. In that moment, Vexthor realized he had made a catastrophic error. He had assumed that humanity's apparent technological limitations reflected their true capabilities. He had never considered that they might have been hiding their real strength, waiting for precisely this moment. The battle for Sol was about to become a lesson in humility that the Valtharian Empire would never forget. Breaking the siege. Admiral Chen watched from Luna Command as the Valtharian fleet scattered, their perfect formation dissolving into chaos as the Phoenix pursued them relentlessly through the inner solar system. But she knew better than to celebrate too early. Wounded predators were often the most dangerous. High Commander Vexthor is requesting emergency communication. Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, his voice tinged with satisfaction. Put him through, Chen ordered, straightening her uniform. The Valtharian commander's obsidian face appeared on screen, his geometric patterns pulsing with barely contained rage. This deception will not be forgotten, humans. You concealed your true technological capabilities. An interesting accusation from an empire that arrived unannounced demanding our surrender. Chen replied coldly. Consider this a lesson in the dangers of underestimating your opponents. You think one ship, no matter how advanced, can stand against the full might of the Valtharian Empire. We will return with a force that will blot out your sun. The transmission cut off abruptly. Chen immediately opened a channel to the Phoenix. Captain Patel, status report. The enemy fleet is in full retreat. Admiral. Patel responded. But our quantum sensors are detecting something concerning. Before they began withdrawing, they deployed some kind of quantum beacon near Jupiter's orbit. A navigational aid for reinforcements. Chen concluded. Araya. Analysis. The A's holographic form appeared simultaneously on both ships. Based on the beacon's quantum signature, I estimate it could guide ships directly through quantum space to our solar system. The travel time for Valtharian reinforcements would be reduced from months to hours. Then we don't have much time, Chen said. Captain Patel, your new mission is clear. We need to prepare for what's coming. Over the next 12 hours, humanity mobilized like never before. The existence of the Phoenix could no longer be kept secret, but its revelation had an electrifying effect on Earth's population. Knowing they had successfully hidden such advanced technology, that they had bloodied the nose of a supposedly superior species, sparked a fierce determination to resist. Under Araya's guidance, the Phoenix's quantum technology was quickly adapted for Earth's defensive platforms. Emergency manufacturing facilities began producing quantum-enhanced weapons for the remaining fleet. Every ship, station, and orbital facility was being upgraded with at least basic quantum shielding. "They're coming," Araya announced suddenly, her holographic form flickering with increased data processing. Multiple quantum space disruptions detected. The fleet approaching is significantly larger than the first. The tactical display lit up as hundreds of Valtharian ships emerged from quantum space near Jupiter. Leading them was a vessel that dwarfed even the first wave's ships, a massive dreadnought that seemed to bend light around its crystalline hull. "This is Supreme Overlord Cathar of the Valtharian Empire," a new voice boomed across all frequencies. "Your resistance ends now. The human ship that dared to challenge us will be reduced to atoms, along with any world that supported its construction." Captain Patel's voice was calm as she responded. "Araya, show them what else we've been hiding." Throughout the solar system, quantum signatures began appearing. Defensive platforms previously invisible to Valtharian sensors revealed themselves. Earth's remaining fleet, now enhanced with quantum technology, moved into formation. And from behind Mars emerged 3 more ships of the Phoenix class, their existence kept secret even from most of Earth's military. "Did you think we'd build just one?" Patel's voice carried a hint of amusement. "Humanity has been preparing for this moment for 20 years. We knew someday we'd meet a species that would underestimate us, that would mistake our careful preparation for weakness." The 4 Phoenix-class ships moved into attack formation, their quantum drives synchronizing in a way the Valtharians had never seen before. Araya's consciousness spread across all 4 vessels, coordinating their movements with impossible precision. "Your empire isn't the first to encounter supposedly primitive humans and assume superiority," Patel continued. "But you might be the last to make that mistake. Araya, initiate synchronized quantum attack pattern Delta." The space around Jupiter erupted in quantum fire as the battle was joined. The Valtharians fought with desperate fury, but they were facing an enemy that had spent 2 decades studying their technology and improving upon it, an enemy that had anticipated this very moment and prepared accordingly. The Phoenix and her sister ships danced through the massive alien fleet, their synchronized quantum drives creating patterns of destruction that defied conventional physics. Earth's upgraded defenses provided crucial support, their weapons now capable of affecting Valtharian shields. As the battle raged, both sides knew they were fighting for more than just tactical victory. This was a battle that would determine humanity's place in the galaxy, and humanity had no intention of settling for anything less than equal status among the stars. The Siege of Sol was about to become a legend that would echo through the galaxy for generations to come. Victory's price. Supreme Overlord Cathar watched in disbelief as his mighty armada was systematically dismantled by 4 human vessels and their upgraded defense fleet. The quantum synchronization between the Phoenix-class ships was unlike anything Valtharian scientists had theorized possible. Each vessel anticipated the other's movements perfectly, creating overlapping fields of fire that nothing could survive. "My lord," his tactical officer reported, voice trembling, "we've lost 60% of our combat strength. The humans' quantum technology. It's not just matching ours. It's exceeding it in ways we didn't think possible." Cathar's geometric patterns pulsed with fury. Everything he thought he knew about humanity had been wrong. They weren't primitives who had stumbled upon advanced technology. They were innovators who had taken that technology and transformed it into something new. Aboard the Phoenix, Captain Patel coordinated with Araya and her sister ships. Status of the quantum core synchronization. Operating at 132% of projected capacity, Araya reported. The combined quantum fields are creating opportunities I hadn't anticipated. Permission to attempt something unprecedented. Patel hesitated for just a moment. Do it. The 4 Phoenix-class ships moved into a tetrahedral formation around the Valtharian flagship. Their quantum drives pulsed in perfect harmony, creating a cascading resonance that bent space itself. The massive dreadnought found itself trapped in a quantum bubble, cut off from the rest of its fleet. What is this? Cathar demanded as his ship systems began failing one by one. This is humanity showing you what happens when you force us to reveal everything we can do. Patel's voice came through clearly despite the quantum interference. Your shields are failing. Your weapons are useless. Surrender now, or we'll be forced to demonstrate just how far we've advanced beyond your understanding of quantum physics. In that moment, Cathar realized something that would reshape Valtharian policy forever. Humans hadn't just copied their technology. They'd understood it on a fundamental level, and then asked questions the Valtharians had never thought to ask. While his people had been content with their technological superiority, humans had been quietly pushing the boundaries of what was possible. All Valtharian forces, Cathar's voice was heavy with defeat. Stand down. Power down weapons and shields. As the remaining Valtharian ships complied, Admiral Chen's voice carried across all frequencies. Let this be a lesson to any species watching. Humanity does not seek conflict, but we will always be prepared for it. We kept our advances secret not out of fear, but because we understood that true strength lies in being underestimated. The aftermath of the battle brought massive changes to the galaxy's political landscape. The Valtharian Empire, humbled by their defeat, was forced to recognize Earth as an equal power. The revelation of humanity's quantum technology and their ability to improve upon it made other alien civilizations reassess their assumptions about younger species. 3 months later, Captain Patel stood in the observation lounge of the Phoenix, watching Earth rotate below. Admiral Chen had joined her to discuss the future. The Galactic Council has approved our membership, Chen reported, largely thanks to the way we handled the Valtharians. Defeating them was impressive enough, but showing mercy when we could have destroyed them entirely. That made an impact. And ARI? Patel asked. How are they handling the revelation that humans have created true artificial intelligence? With fear and fascination in equal measure, Chen smiled. Especially since ARIA has started teaching us things about quantum physics that even she didn't know before the battle. The synchronized drive experiment created some interesting possibilities. That's what they don't understand about us, Patel mused, watching a shuttle dock with one of Earth's newly upgraded orbital stations. We never stop asking questions, never stop trying to improve. The Valtharians thought they were at the peak of technological advancement. We know better. There is no peak. Aria's holographic form appeared beside them. Only new horizons. That's what I find most fascinating about humans. You taught me to look beyond what's known and ask, what if? The stars twinkled outside the viewport, each one now a potential destination rather than just a distant light. Humanity had earned its place among them, not through overwhelming force or technological superiority, but through the quintessentially human traits of innovation, preparation, and the willingness to exceed what others thought possible. The battle for Sol would be remembered not just as a military victory, but as the moment humanity announced its presence to the galaxy, not as conquerors or victims, but as equals who had earned their place among the stars through ingenuity and determination. And somewhere out in those stars, other civilizations were beginning to ask themselves what else humanity might be quietly preparing for.